Top of the morning, everyone. My name is Tshidi and I'm back with another video. Today's video is the benefits of writing a cover letter. The biggest question that we all have is, do we still actually need cover letters in 2022? The short answer sometimes is very baffling. It's advisable to always have one ready anyway. So as a recruiter, I normally don't always look at cover letters unless the job actually requires that role to actually have a cover letter. The reason I don't always look at the cover letter is mainly because sometimes the cover letter is as good as the person can tell a story. So if you're not great at telling a story, in most times the cover letter will not always be the best thing. It will sometimes let you down. Hence, the skills that the candidates have are more what I look at, especially on the CV that they've already provided. Some recruiters and managers, though, actually swear by it. So that's why I'm always saying it's always very, very important that you actually have a cover letter. But what I'm going to do in today's video is to try and showcase to you guys some of those benefits so that you can decide for you if this is actually right for you. Now, the benefits are, number one, demonstrate your personality. The ability to showcase your personality in a cover letter is very, very important. It can always work in your favor. If you are that square peg in a round hole, you can easily showcase that in a cover letter. So show that to the line manager as well as the recruiter. The second thing you should look at is prove your interest. The cover letter should never be one size fits all, which means when you're writing a cover letter, you should look at what the job spec is looking for and make sure that you show interest based on those aspects of the job spec. If the role speaks about innovation and creativity, showcase that in a cover letter. How you've actually been able to be innovative, how you've been creative in the past, and do not just only hold back. Give examples of some of those. It should just be one short little thing. Express your enthusiasm. That's the third thing when you actually look at the role. What is it about that role that got you excited? What is it about the role that stands out for you? Remember, this should be short enough though. Don't go and write 10-page paragraphs that are explaining things that nobody's going to read in some instance. It will also give you a chance to elaborate on your professional qualifications or certifications or any skills. A short summary of your key important qualifications and why you've decided to study them is always very, very nice in a cover letter. You get a chance to elaborate on what is it that you've learned in that particular qualification, what is it aligned to when it comes to your role, how you think that's going to help you in your current role. And if you've recently received a new certification or qualification, you can expand on what you've learned in that qualifications, which is more important specifically for that role. Show employers. The other thing is show employers that you've done research. A nicely tailored cover letter shows the employer that you've done enough research about them. Some employers hide specific terms in a job spec. They will ask you to add them in that cover letter. Use them in your cover letters to show that you've actually read through the information. Sometimes they'll even ask you who was the founder of the company, and they'll hide it in that requirement for the cover letter. These are little nuggets or gold nuggets that actually will get you a lot closer to the line manager. I've had a job that actually required me to call them super ninjas or whatever they had, but it was one of those things where it was hidden there in the requirement of the job spec. You need to make sure that you actually read through that and understand what they're asking for, especially if they're asking for a cover letter. The other thing is it will help you stand out from the other applicants who don't write cover letters. A well-tailored cover letter for the specific role helps you stand out and show that you are very different. Cover letters should never be so generic that you end up seeming like you're just one of the same people. Make sure that when you're actually tailoring a cover letter, you take time to read through what you think about the job spec, highlight some of those things that you're actually looking at or that you saw in the job spec that actually stands out for you. And you should always make sure that you show what always speaks for the role and what the company is looking for and what it stands for. When you're writing a cover letter, remember that it should only be for that company and no other company. So even if you have to save that cover letter very differently, please make sure that you do that. The last thing that I want to highlight to everybody who's actually looking at this when it comes to cover letter is your cover letter should only cover one page. It should be 2, maximum 3 paragraphs that you actually have in there. It should never be more than that. Anything more than that is an overkill. Those are the top reasons why you should have a cover letter in 2022. And you can always make sure that at least part of the structure is already covered going forward. I hope this video makes sense, and please, if it does, don't forget to subscribe. Check it out until we see you on another video.